Hello data nerds, what's up? Welcome to Power BI dashboard series. In this session, we are going to create a dashboard out of HR analytics dataset, which I have downloaded from Kaggle. And so this dashboard will mainly be analyzing the attrition rate. By attrition rate, I mean that why employees have been leaving the organization and why employees are not stable and what kind of employees are leaving the organization, what are the key drivers of attrition and things like that. Okay, so let's get started. So this is the dashboard that we are going to build. As you can see, it says HR Analytics Dashboard, and we are mainly focusing on the attrition analysis. As I said, we are going to understand why employees are not stable, and if they are not stable, then what are the key factors that is making them vulnerable and they are switching the jobs. So that will be the agenda of this dashboard. Okay, we're not focusing on a lot of factors. We have 5 KPIs. The first KPI talks about the total employees. So we have a total of 1470 employees. Out of that, we have these many active and these many inactive employees. Second KPI talks about average monthly salary, and in detail we have maximum salary and minimum salary. And then we have average tenure. So in this organization, the average tenure is 7 years and the maximum tenure which has gone till 40 years and the minimum is 0. Now this is alarming because it shows that people who have recently joined and not even completed 1 year are leaving the organization. And then comes average hike. So average hike in this organization which has gone till 15.21%, and out of which the maximum is 25 and the minimum is 11. And then comes at the end, very important, attrition rate. So attrition rate of this organization is 16.08, and we still have 31 employees who are more likely to leave the organization. Okay, I will show you how I have calculated this. I have written a measure for this, and I'll show you what are the factors I've considered to know that this employee has higher chances to leave the organization. Okay. Then comes the second is who is leaving. Let's understand, if people are leaving, then who are they, right? So the first graph shows that age group between 18 to 25, those are the people who actually leave jobs frequently, right? And then comes single people, right? So we have single, married and divorced. So single people are the most frequent job changers that we can see as per this data set. Then we have gender. So we are not seeing a wide difference between the gender, but yes, female employees have shown a little bit more stability than that of the male employees. Okay. Then comes, where is the attrition rate highest? Okay, we understood that these people are leaving the organization, but from which department are they leaving and what are the job roles where they are leaving from, right? So the first graph shows that about the job role. So we can see sales representatives, right? If you can't see, let me zoom it in. So sales representatives, these are the people who are more likely to leave the job, right? And then comes second at laboratory technicians. And the irony is, the third is human resource. The very department which is supposed to keep the employees intact is vulnerable. And if we come to department, then of course, if you can see, sales representatives were the employees who were leaving the organization quite frequently. That makes this department vulnerable, right? So yes, I have also written insights of 1 or 2 liners right here. So I just wrote in my very layman language. If you want to write it better, you can always do that, okay? This was the overview page of attrition rate. Then comes the attrition drivers and insights. So we have page navigators here and we're going to navigate to another page. Now, okay, we understood that who are leaving and where are they leaving from, but why are they leaving? What are the key drivers? What are the key factors? So we see that salary slab, overtime and job level. These 3 are the main culprit drivers of attrition, right? Salary slab, of course. If employees are not compensated fairly, then they're going to leave the organization, right? And as you can see, people with the lowest salary slab, which is up to 5K, are the people who are leaving the organization. That makes complete sense. And then overtime. So you can see 74.72% of people are doing overtime, and those are the people who are leaving the organization, right? Again, it makes complete sense. Then comes job level. People who are at the lowest level, which is 1, are the people who are leaving the organization again. So I think these 3 graphs spoke a lot. So now we want to understand that what is the correlation between people who have stayed in the organization, are they leaving, or people who have recently joined, they are vulnerable to switch. So for that, we have created this graph, and it shows that people who have been settled in the organization. So we have few people who have also spent 11 to 20 years in this organization. Then we have 21 to 30, and then we have 6 to 10. So these people have gone stable and they are not leaving that organization that fastly. But the recently joined employees, which is 0 to 2 years. They're just between 0 to 2 years. They are leaving organization quite frequently. So again, maybe their expectations are different. Maybe they are young people and they are looking something else from the organization. They're not getting it. It might be work, it might be money, it might be the culture, it might be anything, right? Then comes the promotion gap versus attrition. Now this talks that if people are not getting promoted, if their work is not getting recognized, if they are not actually rewarded for their work, then those kind of employees are more likely to leave the organization. If you see, we have 6 to 10 years. So people have not been promoted even after working for 6 to 10 years in the same organization, which is not fair. So of course, these people are more likely to leave the organization, and that's what has happened as per this graph, right? So this was a little overview of this dashboard. This dashboard we are going to build, and it's very important that your dashboard should tell the insight. So I think we have covered major factors in this dashboard about attrition, right? So now let's get started. This is the blank report, and I've not even uploaded the dataset. So first thing first, let's upload the dataset. My dataset is text in CSV, so I'm just going to take the data and I'll wait for a couple of seconds till it uploads. So we get a little overview of the data. Okay, we'll just click on load. Yes, so data has been uploaded. Here is the data, HR analytics. If you want to take a look at the data set, let's go to table view and see the data. So we have employee ID, we have age, and in the data set only we have age groups. So we don't have to create the age group. Then we have attrition. It shows yes and no. So if attrition is no, means the employee is active, and if the attrition is yes, means that employee has left the organization. Okay. Then comes business travel, that how frequently they travel for business, daily rate, department, distance from home, what is the education, demographic details of the employees, right? Employee count, employee number, employee satisfaction. Then comes about the gender, about job role, job satisfaction, marital status, monthly income. Then comes salary slab, and that's how we can go till we have, which shows that what is the tenure of this employee in this organization. Then we have years since last promotion. So yeah, we have a lot of columns, but I have not used all these columns. I've just used the important ones, which is going to tell the main story. Okay, let's go back to the report view. But before I actually start creating the dashboard, I would like to show that what are the measures that we are supposed to create. Okay, so these are the important measures which we are going to need in order to create this dashboard. Active employee, inactive employee. If you remember, in our KPI that I showed in my already built dashboard, I had this active and inactive employee, right? So we have to calculate that via measures, right? Then we have attrition rate. Of course, we're going to need that because we have used attrition rate in this KPI. Okay. Then years at company group. So we had in this data set, if you see the data set, we have something like years at company. We have something like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is not a very great way to show the data. That's why we have created a group out of it. Okay. And then comes years since promotion group. Since it was an important factor and driver of attrition, so I have created a group out of this as well, which is years since promotion. Again, it is showing like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is not good. We have to create a group like 0 to 2, 2 to 5, like that. So I have created like that. One more measure which I forgot to mention here is this high risk count. But it's okay, I'll show you how I have calculated it as we move ahead. Okay, so now let's start building it. The second thing, we are going to do the canvas setting. I want to make it custom, and then I want to go with 1300, and this would be 1800, right? Because our dashboard is going to be big. Canvas background. If you have noticed, I already have written the color code which I have used for canvas background. We'll just go and paste, right? So after selecting this color, I had made transparency to 73%, because if I go till 100, it becomes like this, and I do not want it. So I'll just make it 75 maybe. Okay, you can play with this. There's no hard and fast rule with this. Okay, now let's start building the KPIs. So first I would open the build visual. I would select the KPI, and we want to show the total employees, right? we'll go to the data and the employee ID. We are going to drag this employee ID to value. Okay, it shows first employee, right click and do count distant, because if employee IDs are repeating through rows, we do not want to count them. So we'll just have count distant, and it shows 1.47k. Again, I do not want it to be presented in K, I just want in normal presentation. So I'll just go to format. So I would simply go inside call out. In cards, I would select count of employee ID, and then I would scroll down, and here it shows display unit. I will just select none. Okay, now it shows 14.70. Now I want to add more details in my KPI. For that I need reference label. Okay, I would just select the KPI, scroll down, and you would find something called reference labels. Just click on that, and now here in label I want to add the count of active employees and inactive employees. But if you remember, we do not have such data currently. We have attrition, which shows yes or no, but that is not going to serve the purpose. So I'm going to create a different measure which will show me the active employee and inactive employee. Okay, so let's create the measure. Now I would like to create a separate space for creating the measures. For that, I'm going to click on this enter data. I'm going to create a separate space in which I would keep creating the measure. So I'll just replace it with underscore measure. Underscore because it would go to the top of this right pane. You would see it's loading, and now you see underscore measure, it's showing right at the top, and that is what I wanted, and that was the reason I used this underscore before measure. Okay, right click, new measure. What do we want to calculate? We want to calculate the active employees. Okay, so we'll just write active employees. Okay, so what do we want? We want to calculate active, so calculate count of employee ID, and the filter would be where attrition is equal to yes, sorry, active, right? It should be no. So attrition is no, which means that the employee is still active in the organization, right? Now I will just copy this and I would commit, and then again measure, new measure, and inactive employee, and I will just replace the no with yes, which means that the employees have left the organization. Okay, now I'm going to add these two measures in my reference label. Okay, as I showed you that we would get reference label right in the bottom of this visual. Under the reference labels, you have to go apply setting 2. In cars, you would click on count of employee ID and then add label, right? What do we want to add here? We want to add active employee. You see it started showing active employee 1k, and second would be inactive employee. Inactive employee is 238. Okay, again this active employee is showing in K, which I do not want. For that I will go to select label, active employee, and then I would go to value, maybe display units. Yes, in display units it would be none. So now it's showing 1242. So we have 1242 active employees and 238 inactive employees, which if we sum comes to 1470, which is correct, absolutely fine. Now I would just want to make it a little bit better. For that I would go to reference labels, layout, cards. Okay, I would go to layout. Currently the arrangement is in vertical position. I would like to go with horizontal. You'll see what happens when I click on horizontal. Currently it's vertical, right? If I click on horizontal, it shows like this, active, inactive, right? And this is what exactly I wanted. Horizontal alignment, middle, vertical alignment, middle. Okay, fine. Now I would also like to change the active employees in green color and inactive employees in red color, right? For that I would go to reference labels and I would go to value. In value I would go to more colors and I would choose green color, right? So maybe this, let's say maybe a little darker, which will be visible. Since I want to make it prominent, so I'm going to bold it and then I'm going to increase the size by 1. Okay, now this is done. We'll do the same thing with inactive employee. We'll just go to the title, no, not the title, the value, and we'll change the color to red. Now I think this red is better. Yeah, this red is better. 13 bold, right? Now this has become better and it is showing more information, but the main callout value, I do not want it to be in left. I want the alignment to be middle. For that, I will go to the callout. So I'll scroll till I find callout, and callout is here. Card is selected as count of employee ID, and here I would like to go with values and horizontal alignment, something like this. So now it is in between, right? This is looking better. One more thing I would like to do, I'd like to remove the border, right? I'd like to remove the border. So where is the border? Remove the border, remove the divider. Also have the background. I do not want to remove the background. So I want the shadow to be turned on. So I'll just select this and I'll search for shadow. So we have two kinds of shadow. One is this shadow and one is cards. Let's see what happens. If I turn this shadow on, then you see the inside buttons shadow gets turned on, which is also good, looking good, right? And if I turn this off and turn this shadow on, then the whole shadow of card is getting highlighted. I think I'll go with this, because just like that. You want to go with other shadow, you can go ahead. I'll just copy and paste. So this was our first KPI, which is ready, and I have copied pasted to the second one, and now we want to move ahead with salary, right? So we want to calculate average monthly salary, and then in label we'll have maximum and minimum, right? So first, let's remove count of employee ID. We'll go with monthly salary, which is this. So I will drag it here. It shows sum, right click, make it average. Average is this, okay. Again, we'll go to the data label, remove shadow from here. Go to the data label. Reference labels, right? So we have reference labels. In cards, we have average of monthly salary, and then we are going to add label. We want to have maximum salary and minimum salary, right? So monthly income, we will just drag it here. Just do right click on this. You can find maximum salary, okay, which will give you maximum monthly income, okay. Again, drag the same column here, right click, minimum income. So we have maximum and minimum. I think the label of this reference label is very large, so I want to make it small. Now select label. If I just go here, title, it asks me that I selected this maximum of monthly income. Then I went into title. It asks me if you want just to field name to be the label or you want to customize it. I want to customize it, right? So I'll just maximum salary. So I want to go with maximum salary. Then I would select minimum of monthly income, and here again in title I would go custom, and then minimum salary, right? Now maximum and minimum are showing 20k and 1k. I would like to change them. So what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to go in the value, I told you, right? Then display units, auto to none. So min salary is changed. Why min salary is changed right now? Because above we have selected, in select label we have selected minimum of monthly income. If you want to change the maximum of monthly income, just select this in the label, and in value change the display units to none, right? So I think the salary gap which we have in this organization is huge. If you see this, we have 19,999 is the maximum and minimum is 1,000. So I think that is going to cause a problem. Again, this main call out value has to be in middle alignment. I searched for call out, and then average of monthly income, and then I will go to value, then I will horizontal. Okay, this is done. Then comes average tenure, which we are going to. Average tenure means the number of years that employee has spent in that organization. Okay, so we'll just remove this average monthly salary. Years at company, that should be the one. Sum, we don't want sum, we want average, which is done. Okay, now we want to go to the reference label, so we will go to the reference labels, and we want to calculate the maximum tenure and minimum tenure. Okay, so again we'll go to the same column, we'll drag it, make it maximum, do the same thing, make it minimum, select the label, change the title, go to the custom, change the title. maximum tenure. Again, go to the label, select minimum, select title, select custom, and make it minimum tenure. Okay, so it is maximum and minimum now. I want the maximum tenure to be in green, so I would go in the value and I would select currently, which one is selected? Currently minimum of years is selected, so I would like to make that red. Okay, so this became red, 13, right? Now I would select this as maximum of tenure, then go to value, make it green, make it 13, possible, make it bold. Okay, this is done. A call out value, this has to go in the horizontal alignment, so I'll just search for call out, and then I would go with the, in cards I would select average of years at company, and then we'll go to the value and then horizontal alignment, and this is done, right? I would like to change the title because it's not good. It shows average of years at company. No, I don't like this title which says average of years at company. No, I would like to have a title which said something meaningful. I searched for label and I got this. I just want to write average tenure. That's it. Okay, I think this is done. Actually, I forgot to do the formatting of this, which I'll do now. I want to make this maximum salary as green and minimum salary as red. Let's do that. Let's go to reference label. Let's go to reference label, and here is the reference labels, right? I will just select the maximum. The maximum of monthly income is selected already. I'll go to the, I don't want to make any change in the title. I just want to make the change in the value, which will be green and 13. Okay, again, go to the select label, select min of salary, color red, 13. So this is what I wanted. So now I have count of employee ID, average of monthly income, average tenure. So I want to change the label of this average of monthly income. I just want to write average salary. So I'll go to call out, I'll select the average monthly salary, and then I will go to the label and I'll just write average salary. Okay, that's it. So I think these 3 KPIs are done. We'll move forward and just copy this and paste here. The 4th KPI would be about average salary hike, that how much hike they have given on an average. Okay, so here in the place of average of years at company, I'm going to remove it and I'm going to add hike, percent salary hike. Okay, I'll just add it and I'll make it average, which is 15.21%. Okay, again, I want to add the reference label, so I'll quickly go to the reference labels, and I would add salary hike, maximum salary hike, minimum, maximum of salary. This will be custom, and I want maximum hike, max M should be big. Go to minimum of this, title, custom, minimum hike. Okay, so maximum min is done. Now the value should be, for minimum it should be red and 13. I would go and select maximum, which should be green, 13 in bold. Okay, the call out has to come in the middle alignment, so I'll go to the call out and then I will go to the middle alignment. This is done. Horizontal alignment, this is done. Okay, so now the 5th KPI card, which is going to be super important, and that is attrition rate. For that, first we should have attrition rate, so let's calculate attrition rate. Attrition rate is equal to, so we are going to divide, calculate. So what should be the formula of attrition rate? Employees who have left the organization divided by total number of employees, right? Employees who have left the organization divided by total number of employees, right? So that's what we're going to do. So first we are going to calculate the number of employees who have left the organization. I can also count the inactive employee because I already have it, but I will show you one more way. So we are going to count the employee ID In filter, sorry, let me close it. In filter, I'm going to put where attrition is equal to yes. Okay, and then this should get divided. So this will act as the numerator, right? And then the denominator would be count of employee ID. And that's it. So this would be our attrition rate. And in the reference label of attrition rate, I want to add the information of those employees who are more likely to leave the organization. For that, I'm going to calculate a new measure which will calculate the number of these kinds of employees. This is the formula for high risk count. I'll just explain you what does it say. It says that first count the employee ID and put these filters. Filters if they are doing overtime, right? If the job satisfaction level is less than 3, and if the sales promotion years since last promotion has been greater than 5 years. If these 3 conditions are satisfying, then that employee is not going to be super happy with their organization and they are very highly likely looking for a switch. Okay, so I'm just going to click commit and let's copy this KPI, paste it here. Instead of average of this, we're going to add the attrition rate, fine, which is this, and I can maybe make it to percentage. So we'll get 16.08%, okay. And then in the reference label, I'm going to add the high risk count. So I'll just make it here. Okay. I'll make the title as red this time because I want to make it look prominent. And yeah, that's fine. This is bigger, this is better. Also, this is in vertical position. Remember how we changed it? We went into reference labels out, we went to layout, and then we did vertical, right? And now it's in vertical position. Okay, better. Now we want to change this call out in the horizontal, so we'll just go into call out and we'll select attrition rate, value, horizontal alignment. I think we are pretty much done with the KPIs. Now let's quickly move towards the other charts, which is, so first I'll add a text box which will say who is leaving, right? Now let's make it to maybe 20, yeah, and make it like this. Now I will just make it the background yellowish, maybe this. This is, I think this is too much. Let's make it a little light. For that we can go here, yeah. So we'll just make it bold, this. We have who's leaving. Who's leaving? Let's find out. Let's add a column chart. And if you remember, we have something called age group. So just drag the age group in the x-axis and attrition rate in y-axis. The age of 18 to 25, okay. Then the second comes gender. In gender, all you have to do is bring, instead of age group, just bring gender. That's it. And make it a donut chart. Okay. We'll make few changes here. We do not want the legends title. I do not want it, the data labels, to have both information. I am okay with % of total. So now this is done. Okay. Now just copy this, paste it. Just change the gender to the marital status. So the third would be marital status. Again, legend title should, okay. So it shows that single people are highly likely to change the job, which is true. So our who is leaving is ready. So we have age group, we have by gender, and we have by marital status. So let's change the title as well, and we'll make it by age group, bold, 15. This would be by gender, 15, bold, and this would be by marital status, 15 and bold, right? Okay, let's change the color of the bars. I'll go to columns, color, and this should be dark yellow. This is the color which I want. Okay, so I'll do the same thing with the donut chart. So I'll go to the slices maybe, and I'll change male, the color should be this. Female, the color should be maybe this. Okay, again in marital status, single, the color should be this. Married, the color should be the lighter one, and the divorced, we can go with a little lighter shade to make it, yeah. So I think this is visible. Now let's go to the other quickly, which is, okay, I'd like to do one thing. I'd like to put all these three visuals inside a shape, okay, to make it look better. For that, just let's select everything, control and select, bring it down and go to insert, go to shape, bring a shape, adjust it here, okay, go to format, remove the fill, where is the fill, remove the fill and turn off the border, very important. Okay, so let's go to this, turn on the shadow and turn off this shadow, and that's it. So this is how it's going to look. This is looking better, and now we can bring all the charts here. So our charts are here. I'll click on this shape, I'll go to format, send backward and send to back. So we'll add our inside box here and we'll write the inside. Okay, now let's go to who's leaving is done. Let's go to where are they leaving from. So first of all, let's not make the same mistake that we did here. Copy this shape, paste it here, bring this down. I have copied this shape and I have brought it down. Okay, now we wanted to calculate where are they leaving from, right? Bring the bar chart, bring the bar chart. We want to see that which job role and which department is the most vulnerable, correct? So we'll just go to the job role. Do you see the job role? Job role, yeah, here is the job role. It will go into the y-axis, and then attrition rate would go into the x-axis, yes, which shows the sales representative are those people who leave the jobs quickly. Now in the second bar chart, instead of job role, I can just make the department. So where is the department? Yep, again sales department. Let's click on this chart, format paint, and that's it. Click on this chart, format paint, that's it. Okay, let's change the title of this chart. So for that, I will just go and write by job role. Here also by department, right? Now let's add the title of the dashboard as well. So go to insert, text box, and write, what do you want to write? HR Analytics Dashboard, in bracket, attrition analysis. Okay, I think I wrote the spelling wrong. Now the size can be 20, and this can go a little like this, and the color I would like to have yellow. And now go to the size and style, go to the background. I'd like to go with some grayish color, or maybe some this kind of color. Yeah, I'd like to go make it bold. So the title is ready, right? Now we can simply rename this tab, and the tab name would be Attrition Overview. Okay, click, right click and duplicate. Now we'll have the same KPIs. We are just going to change these two parts. Now here we want to talk about key drivers of attrition. Key drivers of attrition. Okay, what are the key drivers of attrition? So first and very important driver would be salary, right? If people are not happy with the compensation, they are going to leave the job. So we'll just have the same chart. We are just going to change the mapping. Here it is age group. I'm going to remove it and I'm going to add the salary. Do you see salary slab? We have salary slab. Let's remove it and add the salary slab. Okay, it shows that up to 5k, people who have up to 5k of salary, they are leaving the job, right? So here in donut chart, I would remove gender and I would just add the overtime. Again, it shows that people who are actually working in overtime, they are not liking the job and they are leaving it, right? Let's go to the slices. Let's select yes. Let's make it darker yellow, and no, let's make it lighter. Okay, I think we are done. And the third would be by job level, right? If people are not getting promoted and they are constantly at the lowest level of job, they are not going to like it, correct? So we'll just change it to maybe bar chart, and instead of marital status, we would have job level, right? Because we have 4-5 job levels. Okay, I'll just click on this format painter and then this. Yep. So no need to do the extra formatting. And let's change the title of all these charts. So let's go to title by salary slab. Slab by overtime, and this would be by job level. Okay, so we are done with this, and again I have left some space for the insights here. Okay, then here comes, we'll write tenure and career growth impact. Now, to show these two factors, I would like to use, let's go to table view. I would like to use these two columns. First, years at company, which shows that for how long that employee has been working in that organization. And I would also like to use this column, which is years since last promotion. Means how frequently the company is promoting people and has there been any gap. But if you see, we do not have a group wise data, right? It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We will not be able to present our data better if we have these kind of. So we are just going to create a grouping. All you have to do is click on HR Analytics, right click, new column. Okay. Inside new column, I'm going to paste this formula. You can see it and write it. So what I'm trying to do is switch true. If an organization has spent less than 2 years, then it would go under 0 to 2. If less than 5, it would go to 3 to 5. Less than or equal to 10, it will go to 6 to 10. Same for 20, same for 30. And if somebody has spent more than 30 years, then I'm putting in the bucket of 31 to 40. Okay. Now, my years at company group column has been created here. If you would see, I have this column ready, right? I would create the same bucket for this, years since last promotion. Okay. So again, the same thing, HR Analytics, right click, new column. I'm just going to paste this formula because I have already written it. But if you are new to switch true, just pause the video and understand it and write it. I'm going to explain it. So the formula is exactly like we had in years at the company group. It's just you are using switch true. If you are familiar with switch true, it's going to be easy for you. If not, just pause the video and write this formula. Okay, click on commit. And then you have this years since last promotion group ready. We are going to use both of these in this chart. Okay, now we want to see that years at company group. So I'll just go to the build. I will remove job role and I would bring this. I would maybe change it to this chart, column chart. Yeah, better. So this shows that 0 to 2 years, people who have recently joined are the people who are not very much stable in the organization. They are leaving, right? So we are done with this. Again, we'll go to the same thing. Let's remove this. Let's copy our previous chart, paste it here. And in this time, we are going to, instead of years at company group, we are going to use this years since last promotion. Okay. It shows that people who have not been promoted in between 6 to 10 years are not happy. And of course, they would not be. Organizations should think about it, right? Not fair. Let's change the title. It says by job role, we'll just write tenure versus attrition. Okay, and this would be promotion gap versus attrition. Okay, now this is duplicate of attrition overview. I want to rename it to attrition drivers and insights. Since we have two pages, we are supposed to add the page navigator. You remember how to add? Insert, buttons, navigator, page navigator. Okay, we already got two pages and the navigations. Quick formatting, style. The default one is okay. If we hover, then it should go yellowish, something like this, and the text should become a little bigger. Okay, if we press, then the color should be filled with the dark yellow. It should be bigger. If we select, then also, now see, if I hover here, the color is changing. If I just right click, then it will take me here. Okay, I think done. I'll just copy this, and I would paste here. So now, since we are in this page, it's showing attrition drivers and insights in bold and everything. The formatting is visible, right? Now let's add the slices. We do not have slices, right? Go to build and we'll add a simple slicer because we do not have a lot of space. So the first slicer I think important is department. So department, I'll just add department, right? And I'll change the slicer setting to the drop down. So now we have 3 drop downs here. Since I have a little space, I would like to copy this, paste it, and maybe I can change department to the job role. We have job role added as a slicer. Okay, so I think this looks better, but we forgot one thing. We forgot to write the insight. I'm just going to take the insight from my previous dashboard, and here is it. You can easily make it. This is not a big deal. All you have to do is just insert a text box, turn on the shadow, make it the formatting whatever the way you want, and that's it. Okay, so let me quickly add the insight and come back. Yes, I have added insights in both of the pages. If we zoom out, this is how it's going to look, and I think this looks pretty good. You want to play with it, you can, but currently this is giving a good analysis of attrition rate. So yes, this was it. I hope you found it insightful, and try to play with the dashboard as much as you can because I have very limited time, so I don't want to drag the video. I keep it fast. Sometimes like today I skipped the way I wrote insight, but because that was not a big deal. So just explore more, try to create as many dashboards as you can, and if you have any doubt, you can always reach out to me in the comment section. Once you are done creating the dashboard, let me know how was the experience, or did you add something extra, and do let me know in the comment section, and let's meet in the next session. Bye bye.